This was your first time on the judges panel, right?
For this season, huh? Yep.
Awesome. So how does it feel to be judging kids?
You know what? Honestly, it feels like it. Honestly, it's not that different from judging adults because just my judging style, particularly, I always keep it constructive no matter what. So you know what I mean. So honestly, because it was kids, it was still on the same note. You constantly build them up because that's what we need as artists, man. We hear enough no's and we hear enough critiques and criticisms all the time. But when those criticisms comes with how to fix what we're talking about and how to continue going on in life past the competition as well, that's what we're looking for. So honestly, it wasn't that different, really. You remain positive and you build them up. You build them up.
That's awesome. How do you think he did?
I think he did a great job, you know, and I don't think that in this generation we sometimes give kids enough credit for how much they can do. You know, when we're teaching these kids, we teach all these kids on like all sorts of different dance conventions, and they can handle it. They get it, they understand, and they're with you 100% of the way. So giving them a critique here or there, they're excited about it. They want that attention because they want to be better dancers. That's why they're here on the show. So I think he did a great job at being constructive, but also telling them how great they also were. I think that's something that we also have to do as teachers and innovators and creators. Like, give props to the kids that are doing so good at the next generation.
Alrighty, Nigel, so I'm going to jump right into it. What do you think is the hardest thing that the dancers had to deal with this week?
This week the hardest thing was being out of their element. You know, they choose which style they're going to do out of a hat, and they choose who their partner's going to be out of a hat. So some of them were lucky enough to get ballroom if they did ballroom. Some got contemporary and they were a contemporary dancer. But the hip-hop dancers, more than anybody, got different styles that they are unaccustomed to. And, you know, it was really good having Twitch on the panel this week because he could relate to the fact when he chose a style that he couldn't do. And, you know, most of the hip-hop dancers that we've had on the show, fabulous at what they do, but the minute you put them in, especially in the first couple of weeks, the minute you put them in an area that they're unaccustomed to, some of them have been terrible, to be frank with you. But tonight, you know, we mustn't forget that Tahani is a hip-hop dancer. She was terrific in what she did. Kida was magnificent in what he did. Shaden, another one that was out of his element a lot of the time. So I was really pleased with them.
I think the hardest thing, well, I don't know for anyone else, but for me, will be learning new styles and learning new things from this experience. And I think it's better to start now, start young, so as you get older, you'll progress even more.
Yeah, and for me, it was the same as Kita too, like picking up a new style, but also finding the connection between the two of us because we've never danced together before, and the fact that we had to like pick it up in the spot in 3 days and just like totally go outside of our element, outside of our box, and just like try and find that connection because if you want to have a partner, then you have to have a really strong connection and you got to have that chemistry that you should have for like years, but we only had 3 days, so that was pretty difficult. I'm looking forward to learning new styles and just like learning more from my All-Star. I mean, like we've learned so much already in the past 2 weeks from our All-Stars, and I feel like they are continuously giving us great feedback, and I feel like that's making us stronger dancers and just taking our dancing to that next level, so I'm excited for that.
So I just have to commend you because I felt the fact that you're bringing bullying into the spotlight is a huge, huge thing to do in 2016. Times have changed so much. What is the best advice that you can give to children around the world who may be dealing with bullying?
You know, one of the most important part of this piece for me is that you can get out of it. You can reach out to somebody else who's being bullied, and then together you gain strength. You don't have to stay in that place that people unfairly put you. And I feel like it's so important because I think a lot of people that I've talked to, I know it's kind of an issue that I feel really strong about, and I've talked to a lot of kids and adults that have been bullied, and so many times they feel like they're stuck in it, they can't get out. And there is a way out, but it's going to take all of us reaching out and them reaching out to each other to lift, to help them like get out from under it and know that they're not alone and they have strength. And I think that's really important.
I have to ask you 2 words, like air.
Yeah, so Like Air is a documentary that I just worked on with my husband. and you can get it on iTunes, but it's a beautiful documentary, and we just traveled around the country with dance makers, the convention that I teach on, and followed 3 kids in the competition world and followed their journey, and some of them ended up winning, some of them didn't, and like their process of competition and their mindset, and really redefining success through artistry, and knowing that success happens when you allow, exactly what I was just talking about, when you allow your heart and your mind to equally be free, and you step into your art form and you do it because you love it, not because you're trying to impress anybody or win anything. And so it goes parallel and hand in hand with this show, and as mentors, what we're trying to teach these kids, although we all created competition and it makes it exciting, but how to take competition and be inspired by it rather than take it as something that if you don't win, you're defeated and you're not worth anything. Your worth doesn't come from winning. Your worth comes from who you are and standing in it no matter what anyone else says. So it's very parallel to this show, but it's something that I hope everyone will really check out.
Who stood out to you the most this week?
I think Kida and his routines. I think Tahani and hers. I'm always happy with Tate. I think Tate is just an incredible dancer. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more personality from her this week in the jazz routine, I think. But the choreographers are getting used to her legs. So what she can do with her legs are ridiculous. I hope the choreographers push her in other areas. We know now that her legs are fantastic. Thank you. Forget it next week. Don't show me how great her legs are, I know. Show me how great something else is, you know.